if anyone's still watching or listening, then yes, you deserve a 3% Club word.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, even I've switched off for good chunks, for good chunks of this.
Here we go. Welcome to the Pompey Pod with Mike and Dan. No Tolly this week. He'll be back hopefully next week. Hello, Dan. Bad week for Pompey.
Yep.
Yes, it was. We'll come on to that. Since we were last on when we were talking about the Millwall game, we played 2 games, got no points, scored no goals. So we'll
in the
come
bottom
to that.
3.
And we have dropped into the bottom 3. Correct. But we'll start, as always. We're getting regular comments now, and I like it. And this is probably the kind of going to be the highlight of today, let's be honest, because the comments were after the Millwall game. So they're going to be fairly positive. So before we come on to the negatives of the next 2 games, we will go through these. I'm going to start calling this the post bag, because that's what it would have been called on a Saturday morning TV show back in the day, wasn't it? So
the Pompey post bag.
If you want to be part of the Pompey podcast post bag, then please pop your comments in. So let's start off with Paul from Thailand, Saidang. Basically, his comments are quite long now, so we can't go through the whole thing, but it's very good points, Paul. Thank you very much. What he did say is it does feel like this past international break, some sort of order will return to the Championship in the period up till Christmas. Now, if that is true, bearing in mind what was happening in the 2 games for Pompey since, doesn't look like the order is going to be good for us. But cheers, Paul. Thanks for getting involved. Teresa Moore, again, as always, very good comments. What I want to highlight from her comments are, we can't go back into debt, but we need to have some type of ambition and buy players of Championship quality. Sorry, but how many players have we bought for the future, and how many have been frankly rubbish? When Milan bought, he bought people in of this level, both in players and managers. Even before Harry was here, before that, we had the likes of Prozinecki, Justin Edinburgh, Lee Sharp, etc. Now, agree with that. I don't remember Lee Sharp being particularly good for us, if I'm honest with you.
I think he was all right, wasn't he? I think he was all right. Yeah, I think he was past his best, wasn't he? Obviously, but I think
he wasn't that old, though, was he? He wasn't even that old when he played for us. I think he wasn't too old. 30. But he was definitely past his best, wasn't he? And she was sad there was no 3% words. So
yes, I know. I'll think of one. Yeah.
What's this space?
Oh, you got one, have you? You got one?
No. That's your job. That's your job. Okay, so Christopher Reed, he says, think we need some strength to the core of the team, centre back, centre mid, and centre forward especially. What do you think of that, Dan? I think it's
spot on, isn't it? Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. If you look at what is effectively our core, people who have played consistently throughout the season, Paul, Dazelle, Bishop. How many of those are going to start regularly for any other Championship side?
Yeah. I think you're quite right. And I think the word that I mentioned to you the other day, and I'm sure I'll be using it quite a lot, is worrying. And I think it's quite worrying that we still don't know what our sort of strongest 11 is. It's chop and change every week, isn't it? And we do need, like you say, those players. They're good for Pompey, but how many other teams were they getting? Very few, I think.
Very few. He goes on to say, hope the Eisner are advised correctly, as whilst I commend their intentions, I think their strategy of potential players isn't sustainable in a mad parachute payment infested Championship. Very good point.
Just going back to Teresa's. I think with the Mandaric thing, it helped that he had a lot of connections, didn't he, in football, Mandaric? So I mean that's why he got the likes of Prozinecki. Just trying to stick up
absolutely
Moutinho a little bit.
Prozinecki was his gift to us, wasn't it? I seem to remember him saying at the time, and what a gift that
not
was.
A bad gift, is it? One of the best players ever.
And I think considering where we were at the time, I think he was incredible, wasn't he? Absolutely incredible. Obviously we've had some great players since then. Diarra would be a key one that springs to mind, but obviously many players we had in the Premier League. But just to finish off, Christopher Reed, he goes on to say, keep up the good work. Chris Reed, Dolphin watching, Canoe Lake, going slowly on that front, I'll be honest. It's like he signed off as a news reporter. He does actually add a little bit more in a separate one. P.S. Murphy is Lakes. Do you understand what that means?
Yep, Lakes. It's a good old Springfield word. Okay. Lakes means good.
I assumed it did, but there you go. And finally, I don't want to be a complete Chris Reed centric, but he does finish off with no Dolphins so far. But I did bump into Vinny Soundways, the ex-Spurs midfield maestro earlier. He said he was keeping well, but had to come down to try a monster mix.
Mixed monster burger.
Okay. And we're going to finish with unboxing. Unboxing is back with lots and lots of comments. Lots and lots of comments. Very balanced as well. We did obviously discuss them very briefly.
I think it helped that we didn't just jump down his throat last week with his comments. I think we're usually quite balanced on here, aren't we? We're quite fair. So
I would agree, Dan. Yeah, and it seems like our commenters are as well. And so just the colour highlights of what he's written here. So he just for balance on what he said last week, he said for the players I'll keep, it's about 9-ish. He said he's kind of reviewed it and maybe was a little bit harsh on the squad and said it's about 9-ish, so nearly a full 11. However, I just happened to forget about some players and thought people would also understand why I never spoke. Wouldn't understand why I never spoke on certain players due to certain situations. Now, this is something that unboxing. I'd like you to clarify for me, because it says a little bit further down. It says, I seem to somewhat have the same viewpoint as the manager currently, as he stated that Bishop may be someone who gets sold in January to bring someone else in that he feels we need up front or for security in a different position with depth. I've not seen that comment anywhere. I've not heard him say that comment. So, and I'm not denying that he said it, but unboxing, please clarify your source there if you can. That'd be great.
Yeah, I just read that myself just before we came on, and I was going to ask you about that because I hadn't seen that myself.
No, I'm not saying it kind of, I don't know if it makes sense or not, but anyway, yeah. There you go. That's the if you'd like your comments read out badly by me, then pop them in the comments below this video, or if you are listening on Spotify or a similar sort of podcast audio device, then pop them in there as well, because we'll also get round to those. But thank you very much for everyone who has contributed. We do appreciate it very much. Now, the time has come, Dan, to get into this. Portsmouth, Sheffield United. We went into this game. We spoke last week about how we could potentially go 7 points above them. We are now 2 points below. So talk us through this.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to talk you through it. Murphy started on the right.
How did you feel about that?
I don't know. It's just... I don't know, Mike. I don't know what the decisions are anymore. I don't know what the reasons are for the decisions, should I say. It was just...
Can I ask, do you feel that Bianchini did enough against Millwall to warrant him starting?
No, we said he worked hard, didn't he? It was just that final ball that he was sort of not delivering. I don't know. We struggle with these. Other than Murphy, we've struggled with wingers, haven't we, over the last few years? Murphy, maybe Kamara. We struggle with anyone with any bit of consistency out there. Yeah. Is this the goal? Is this the first one?
This is the goal. Yeah, I was just going to pause that. So okay, let's let it go again. So. Oh no, it's not like it's not the goal. It's just again, what's going on in the set pieces? Why are we so bad at defending set pieces? Again, look how free. Look at just
Does it? I mean, do we miss Shaughnessy that much? I know. We're not. Paul's not the biggest, is he? I don't think Knight. I don't know how tall Knight is, but he doesn't look huge alongside Paul.
No, but Knight looks as if he's about 6'1", 6'2", possibly. Funnily enough, I was having a chat with my son last night, and Paul is about 5'11", I believe, not massive for a centre back, but Now, Tanganga, who headers this ball, I thought was actually bigger than this, but he's also only 5'11", and he kind of commands this situation.
He's imposing, isn't it? Yeah, look at that.
And that's just down to movement and attacking the ball and wanting the ball, in my opinion. Did you see that handball straight away, by the way?
Yes, and I mean, it's just the reaction. I know it might be a silly thing to say, but yeah, and I said it to you at the time. Why does Devlin immediately put his hands over his face and make it? Because you know what these championship referees are like. They're awful, aren't they? So don't give them the opportunity. Don't give them an easy decision to make. Because and they change their mind, don't they? Sometimes they'll stand there for a while and then make their decision. So if you've done the handball, even if the referee's blown his whistle, don't go like this straight away to show the ref that it was a definite handball. But I don't know.
It's naive, isn't it? It's naive at the best. It's kind of inexperience, I guess you could say. But I'm with you on that. It's kind of, if I'm honest with you, when it first happened, I thought, Christ, how's he cleared that? And then obviously, it's quite obvious how he's cleared. He's playing volleyball. But I have to say, fair play. It's a good penalty. Right in the corner. First ever goal. It's nice, decent pace, and anything else Schmid would have saved it, wouldn't it? Now, I have an issue with this one, Dan. What do you think about this?
Well, the fact that Bamford scored it for a start.
Yeah, well, that's partly the issue.
It's a massive insult, isn't it? Go on. What's your problem with it? Just the fact that we can't defend?
Well, we can't defend. That's the first thing. Obviously, we don't get the first header.
Yeah.
But nobody has mentioned this.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we'll attack the second ball. But and I'm going to bring in a thing here. Okay.
Are you going to say offside, are you?
No.
Oh.
Right, let's watch it one more time. So the ball comes in, header off the bar, comes down. Right. Is that at what point? I know that goes over. Clearly, it goes over the line. Right now, this is my problem. I think. Here we go. I've done a little still of it. Is that not a foul? Is that not a foul on the goalkeeper? Because
I don't know.
If it's not gone straight in off the crossbar, Bamford's knocked it over with that foot, which is head. Well, if Schmidt's not going down, he's kind of halfway there. But in any other situation, surely that's a foul, isn't it? Even if you're playing the ball against a player in the middle of the pitch, he's got his studs up. He's going for the ball. Yeah.
I think you're clutching, but I think you are right. But you've got the benefit of slowing the game. It's like you've paused it there at the decisive moment. It didn't look like it at the time, did it? In real,
I thought it did. That's instantly. Right. That's why I'm saying about it, because I genuinely thought, why has no one said anything about potential foul there?
Well,
and I have watched it
back to our players. Does that not go back to our players not screaming and shouting at the referee as much as
maybe?
Because if that happened to them, they'd be straight round the referee going, he's kicked him. Oh, it's a high foot, but we just turn around and accept it, don't we? Yeah.
This is a good hit, but again, far too much space.
I didn't see that one, funnily enough.
were you
I'd given up by then, to be honest.
Long gone.
And I know I shouldn't. I know I'm on a Pompey podcast, but it was 2-0 and I just thought, this isn't going to happen.
And it was going nowhere, was it?
Yeah, so I started pottering.
Yeah, it is a good hit, but it's one of those that really shouldn't have got that to that stage. It was a bad night. I thought we were okay up until the moment that the penalty. Really, that's my overall assessment of the.
And again, it's just that lack of chances, wasn't it, for us? Lack of creativity in the final third. Just very few chances created, very few dangerous chances.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
worrying. Worrying.
It is worrying. It's just that, again, it's those set pieces as well. And again, we're going to come on to the Bristol City game, but I just don't understand why we are so bad at defending set pieces. It's, if you look at the penalty, if you include the penalty, that both the first two goals really are from set pieces, aren't they? I'm kind of a little bit lost for words, if I'm honest with you. I really want to be balanced. I really want to be positive. At the moment, I'm struggling. I genuinely thought we'd get something from the Bristol City game, and as I say, we're going to come on to it. But I just thought.
I think the only thing that doesn't shock you is that you half expect it, don't you? As we say every time we're away from home, especially. you just half expect a performance like that. There's been so many like that over the last 2 years, hasn't there? 2 seasons.
And our away form, when we started the season actually okay away from home, didn't we? But now it's right back to where it was last season, whereby we've only got 2 points out of the last 6 away games now, which is worrying. And we don't have the home form to fall back on, because we've already lost 5, is it, or 6 at home already this season. It's just really, really worrying. Really worrying.
It's worrying.
It is worrying. It is worrying. Dan, I'm worried. That's how worrying it is. Okay. I think the other thing you've got to look at as well is Sheffield United weren't even in good form coming into that game, were they? And up until the penalty, I actually thought it was a really poor game of football from both sides. I thought both teams were pretty poor. I thought they slightly edged it, but there wasn't a lot in it. But they were pretty nervy, weren't they? But from that moment onwards, their quality shone through. Now let's come on to the Bristol City game. What I want to start with on this one is let's talk about the first 20 minutes. Firstly, shall we? What did you think of the first 20 minutes of this?
Well, was it that Bristol City were good, or was it that we were horrendous? Because they certainly, I see that one, that irritated me straight away. Because this ref, as soon as I said to you, didn't I? Oh, good, it's this ref, Mr. Arrogant. And then that one, so you look at it in real time, it's a penalty. Even with the replay, I thought it's a penalty. Then you see a few more replays and you see he probably has dived. But that's what irritates me. And not just this referee, but just football in general, is that if it's not a penalty, why are you not booking him then for diving? It's one or the other. So they need to get that sorted. But,
do you know what I think the thing that did for the player is the fact that he went down and then took a swing at the ball trying to knock it into the goal. So I think it almost said that there wasn't any contact.
Yeah.
And actually, obviously, in hindsight, the referee got that right. I thought at the time it was a penalty, if I'm honest with you. Yeah. But like you, when I saw the referee, I did think was saying Allison, isn't it? Or, he had a shocker again, didn't he? How I'm going to say before we kind of watch any more highlights, but how McCrory at right back how did he not get booked in the whole? He did about 3 bookable offences, didn't he? 2 in the first half, and then Dazelles was a booking, but at the end of the day, it's exactly the same as what McCrory's done. Poorly defended all round. Well, I'm going to take this back a little bit here. So, give me your views on this.
It's so easy, isn't it? It's just so easy.
Right.
Look at the
space.
Space in centre mid. So
this
deep.
Sorry, go on.
Running away from them. He's running towards us. We're running backwards again, and then ball out to whoever that is.
Yeah.
Simple cross. Simple header, get anything on it, you've scored.
It's just so
it's a good goal for Bristol City.
It's a well taken goal.
Yeah,
but it's kind of, you're inviting the cross for a start, aren't you? There's no attempt to really stop the cross, and just look at the position of Mehmeti there. Paul should see that there's more danger there. Surely that you look at the position and actually you think, well, it's actually not too bad. Maybe Swanson, I think, should be more in here covering this player so that Paul can go across, but he's not really breaking his neck to do that. But it's just the fact they've walked through. And what I don't get is, I was quite surprised to see Pack play. Well, not necessarily see Pack play, but to see Kozlowski not play. Because I think against Millwall, I thought he covered a lot of ground. I thought he wasn't great against Sheffield United, but no one was really. No. But he still worked hard. I just think that first 20 minutes was a lot down, and I'm not saying it's down to Marlon Pack, but what I'm saying is down to they ran the midfield completely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it was just far too easy, like you say, far too easy. Just every time I see it, I just think, God, it's such a basic goal to concede, isn't it? It's a good header. Don't get me wrong, it's a good header, it's a good cross. But still, there's all that space there, look. All the space there just running into, and it was just one-way traffic. I genuinely thought we're going to get hammered here. This is going to be an absolute hammer.
Yeah.
I interrupted. Go on, carry on.
No, you didn't. I was it was just they just dominated, didn't they, for the first 20 minutes? Possession, movement, just doing everything we'd want our team to do, especially at home. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
That's one of our highlights is a cross that the keeper
went for a goal kick.
Yeah. And then
that's okay.
The first, yeah. Go on.
Yeah. As this ball came in, and I saw, look at him there. Okay, look at Knight there. He's lost his man. Perfect, absolutely perfect. He's done everything right to that point. Ball comes in. Oh my gee! Oh come on! You can see where it's going. Why has he jumped so late?
Yeah,
it's just he's way underneath the ball, and it's a free header. Professional footballer, Dan. That's got to be troubling the goalkeeper, isn't it?
Yeah, but then I don't know, if you're on a good run, then he would get on the end of it, wouldn't he? But this wasn't as close as the ground made out. It's
no, didn't need the goal line decision system there, did it really?
And then let's see, it's just that ball where they're in behind again, like so many other teams. And I mean, how often do we go? I think we did it at Oxford, didn't we? Where Bishop, first game of the season, where they did the bad back pass and Bishop ran onto it, and then Segachir scored. But how often do we see teams? I mean, that's been once this season. How often do we see teams against us have sort of 1-on-1, 30 yards out?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got the striker running towards goal.
Yeah,
we just don't have that, do we? So are we playing too high? I don't know.
Well, I think we were chasing the game at that stage, weren't we? And we were obviously committing people forward, but I think that was part of the issue in the first 20 minutes, is whereby we couldn't commit too many people forward because, and again,
put it in, mate.
Just say it one more time. Just want to clarify exactly how clear a header that is. It's not his finest hour, I'm afraid, from Knight, is it? No. And if I am gonna be overly, it's not overly critical, it's just critical. I thought Knight started really well for us when he first came into the side, but I now can see why he's not right. He's after a sustained period in the side, he's not at this level, I don't think, and it just highlights how much people are saying that we miss, Atkinson from last season. I think we clearly miss Shaughnessy. I think if we had Shaughnessy and Paul at the back, Paul's actually been pretty solid. I think he's had a couple of average games where he's not been so great, but I think he's been good most of the season. But I'm really just, and I'm not going to say it because he's missed these two, which are pretty clear free headers in this game. But I think I worry about his defender, and I have done since the Coventry game, if I'm honest with you. I thought he was pretty poor in the Coventry game, hasn't really looked the same since. And it just worries me that clearly Boat or Matthews aren't better than him. So therefore, again, question of strength in depth.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I didn't overly rate him at the start. I thought he's done okay. Nothing brilliant. But I do think, we missed Shaughnessy. And I don't think, like you say, Boat, Murphy, who else? Is there anyone else that come in that position? Whoever else it is not as good as what we've got in there at the minute. So, yeah.
So, 1-0 defeat. I don't think we had maybe 2 or 3 shots on target in that game.
Yeah,
go on, you got.
I think. Should we just be positive for 1 minute and just say that from 30 minutes onwards we weren't actually too bad, and it was still 1-0, so it wasn't as if Bristol City completely shut up shop. It wasn't like they were 2 or 3 goals ahead and just let us have the ball. I think we actually played all right for an hour. But just again, without that sort of lack of, looking at the highlights, we had a few more chances than I remember. Bishop was unlucky. But I think just something really does need to change.
What I kind of liked about that game was that when Swift and Chaplin came on, they actually did make a difference. They actually did change the game to a degree. They actually started creating things and playing some sensible ball, some actually good balls through. But watching it, what was quite interesting, I watched it with a neutral friend of mine who is actually a supporter of Italian football. But his observation was that I know. He used to live in Italy, so he's kind of like follows AC Milan. But anyway, one of the observations he had is that he said the big difference was that Bristol City moved the ball much quicker, and he said you can see there's a huge hesitancy whenever Portsmouth got the ball. It was just hesitant in possession, almost like there was no real plan of what was happening, and it was pretty clear. It's just lack of I don't know, confidence, trust, cohesion, whatever it is. It's not there at the moment, is it? And one final thing on this game is and our overall play. Right, when have we ever done with the exception of the chance at the end there for Kirk, and we still didn't score from that. Had he made a better connection, maybe we would have done. But when have we scored from a pack long throw? What have we done positively from a pack long throw?
Did we do good stuff in League One with the big throw?
I don't remember. No. It's a good weapon to have, but I just think it's a bit too loopy for me to make that much of an impact. It needs to be more different trajectory and at least offer a different option, so it's not so obvious what we're going to do with it. I just think generally it's headed away at the near post.
I think that's all part of the worrying, which I think it really hit home with me, the Bristol City game, especially that first 20 minutes. I mean, like I say, we're fair on here and we try and stay impartial, but I just think, and you get a lot of Pompey fans that we've been sort of taking the mick out of that have been saying for the last few weeks, oh, we're shit and all this lot and we're going to go down and we need to change the manager, etc. Well, I think the Bristol City game, I just started to think something does need to change. And whether it's the manager or the players, I don't know, or the training ground, the set piece training. I don't know, but there's got to be some sort of overhaul because nothing's changed since the beginning of last season. We've gone through all these players and we still don't know our best starting 11. We still can't win 2 or 3 games on the bounce. We can't go on a good run. We just look inept against good teams. Like your friend said, if he, as a neutral, he would say, "Oh, Bristol City, are that team too?" If he didn't know the leagues, are that team a division above Pompey because they look like it? So I just think that game, and especially the Sheffield United game as well. I think those 2 games really started making me think, something's got to change.
Yeah, and looking back, see the Bristol City game for me, the first 20 minutes reminded me of the Norwich and the Sheffield Wednesday games. Norwich at the time, I kind of excuse it by saying, well, Norwich are going to be up there; they're going to be a decent side this season. But actually, quite contrary to that, they've actually been shocking themselves. Sheffield Wednesday, we knew were going to be poor. We were just worse on the day. They were up for it. We weren't up for it. And I think that also showed in the Bristol City game, the being up for it side. There was a situation in the first half whereby we had the ball in the final third and the ball had gone loose. There's a 50-50 between their defender and Williams was running onto it. It wasn't a pace thing. You could see it on the pace. They're both moving towards the ball at the same pace. Their guy got there first. It just seemed like at the last minute, Williams slowed up. And I just thought, you've got to want it more than that. You've got to want it. Don't get me wrong, it was nothing, but it was just out on our right wing, kind of maybe in just a slightly in an attacking third situation. But it was a 50-50. Their player wanted it more. And you've got to, I don't know, for me, the mentality previously has always been, we've lacked the quality, we've had the right mentality. At the moment, it just seems like we don't have either.
No, I agree with that. And I do wonder whether instructions aren't getting across, or there seems to be some sort of, I don't know, something between the manager and the players, or the coaching staff and the players, but something just it's not right, is it?
No, worrying times. Worrying times, and we got accused this week, Dan, of being far too positive, by the way. And we're not deliberately being negative because of that. We're being negative because of what we see. And as you say, I like to think that we look at both sides of things. We're not the ones who throw our toys out the pram when things aren't going well. At the end of the day, we understand we've seen enough of Portsmouth over the years to know that we've had decent times and kind of been surprised by it. I think my biggest surprise was the 1-0 win at Old Trafford back in 2008. And in the FA Cup run, that is. But we've also had some terrible times, like getting stomped by Lane Orient at home. 4-1, 4-0? I can't remember. But we were pretty poor that day. But this is pretty bad. So things need to change. Now, final thing I want to discuss before we move on to what's coming up is, what do we do about Colby Bishop? Because we've defended him in the past. He scored 1 goal in 18 games. He is getting a lot of stick now. I would now say that he's not really contributing that much in the way of linking up play or anything like that. There just doesn't. I just think the last 2 or 3 games, actually, he has been fairly non-existent, with the exception of maybe occupying defenders. That's about all he's doing. He had a couple of opportunities there.
I know. I agree.
Just a chance in 3 or 4 games that he's had against Bristol City.
Yeah. I agree. I've always stuck up for Bishop. I still like him as a player, but it's not working, is it? Something isn't right. So, and whether that's his fault or not, whether it's just not falling for him. So just rest him. You know what I mean?
Even the best players get rested at times, don't they?
Of course they do. Of course they do. And this just shows that just shows what we're like sometimes, doesn't it? As a club. I know we've come from, losing a lot of money, and we've come from right down in the last few seasons, but it's just a fact. It's just that we've got one striker and that's it. And we just play him over and over again for 90 minutes. And it just makes us look amateur, doesn't it? Compared to other teams in the Championship. Yeah.
I wasn't massively impressed by Bamford when he played for Sheffield United, but he scored, which is what strikers are there to do, and he also had another decent effort, which wasn't far wide. Even I know there's rumours about him signing for us, and a lot of people saying, he's past his best, blah 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 blah. Of course he is. We're not going to get somebody in their prime. We're not getting a Patrick Bamford age 27, are we? No. That's not going to happen. Maybe even just someone like him who has a bit of know-how could put a bit more pressure on someone like Bishop, help him improve at the end of the day, because that's what he needs, and it could be good all round. But I think we need someone in January. Because don't get me wrong, Kirk looks okay, but he's not for now, is he? He's not going to start scoring 20 goals in the second half of the season. I won't.
No, and that's the fact that he's the backup. People are screaming for him to start. I don't think they would if we had 2 or 3 other strikers as backup, but he is all we've got, isn't he? He is all we've got in the way of a backup. So might as well just give him a go now.
Yep, absolutely.
Just change it up.
Give him a run. So 2 games coming up. Now, it may be all doom and gloom for us, but we're playing 2 teams in the next 2 games away from home who are in worse form than us, Dan, if you could believe that. So the Championship form table puts us 4th bottom in the Championship form table. Charlton, Sheffield Wednesday and Swansea are below us. Last 6 games, we've got 4 points. Swansea have 1 point from the last 6 games. Shocking. Charlton, like us, have 4. Sheffield Wednesday have 2, or minus 10 or whatever it is they've actually gained over the last 6 games. So my concern is that they're both away from home. But we're at a stage where we need points from those sort of games, don't we, against teams who are also in bad form?
Well, we've got to. We've got to start picking up points regardless of who we play. But yeah, Charlton they've conceded a lot, haven't they? They've conceded 11 goals in the last 3. But bogey team, never play well at Charlton, do we? Or very, very rarely.
No.
They've just been smashed by Southampton. I mean, in fairness, look who have beaten them. Southampton, who are flying at the minute. Stoke somehow still up there, and Coventry, who are just battering everyone. So
so it may just be that they played 3 good teams.
It could be, and they're just waiting to play us. They probably just off them off and just think, yeah, there we go.
Counting down the days.
Wait for the 3 points on the 6th of December, whatever it is.
I think I don't even think 2 draws is good enough in those games. Even I know they're away from home, but I think we need to come away from those 2 games with 4 points, because we then got Blackburn, who play in Ipswich as we speak. But they're also one of those teams that we potentially want to be aiming for to try and reach. I'm just seeing, Blackburn are beating Ipswich.
Yeah,
so that's
Blackburn, yay!
Okay. I suppose it's only fair because they were beating them last time when it was called off with like 10 minutes to go. But that's not ideal, because that means they're going to pull away from us.
In fairness, then I hope that ends 1-0, because that's only fair.
Justice. Yeah. But yes, we our next home game is against Blackburn, so we really need to find some form before that, don't we?
Yeah. Can I ask your thoughts on the manager?
It's difficult because I have 2 thoughts. One, he won't get changed. The Eisners clearly have a strategy in place that, I think if they're not prepared to buy players, they're not going to be prepared to pay out compensation to sack a manager. I can't see that happening. So are they going to pay out the rest of his contract? I think he's got like 18 months left, probably something like that. I can't see them doing that. Should he go? No, not at this stage. I think he should be under a lot of pressure because the form is horrendous. I question a lot of his decision making lately, and some of his team choices. Doesn't seem to know his first team, which I think is a real worry. His strongest team, and I would now start to question why he's persisting with Bishop when I don't think it's good for the team. I don't think it's good for Bishop. No. So yeah, I would. There's lots of things I would question, but I still think he has enough in the tank from what he did last season and what he did the season before to be given. I think at least 3 or 4 more games, and I think if we lose 3 or 4 more games, then we've got to really start looking at something needs to change. And actually, sometimes that we can't wait till the end of January. Let's put it this way: we can't bring in a new manager after the transfer window. If you're going to do it, it needs to be before the transfer window.
Yeah.
And the other thing I'd say is, it will not, if we do change a manager, it will not be Gary O'Neill. Let's just clear that up, because you don't go from being a Premier League manager on about £1.5 million a year to being a championship. Championship manager. For the love of Pompey,
Mike. He used to play for Pompey. What are you talking about? That's how it works.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, you're right. You're right. But why not get in? I always think it's a bit ludicrous. There's a time, obviously, when David James and Hardison were being linked to being managers, like joint managers and stuff like that. It was like, come on.
Just
anyway.
Yeah.
Just because they play for us doesn't make a good management.
Yeah.
Who, Linvoy?
Linvoy, yeah. Just because he knows, doesn't he? He knows where the gloves are.
Yeah. He knows where the gloves are, yeah. Keep it solid at the back. It's no. I don't think they will. I don't think they will this season. Even if we go down, I don't think they will. But I do think any other team would be giving him 3 or 4 games max, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's a shame. I don't think it's. I mean, he's only got. He can only play the players he's got. He's had horrible injuries last 2 seasons. The players aren't good enough, or a lot of the players aren't good enough. So is he just working with what he's got? I think it's just the lack of change, the formation change, the style. So that's why I think just something needs to change. And I'm not necessarily saying Mousinho, but there just needs to be something, even if it's bringing Kirk in for Bishop. Yeah.
I agree. And I agree. I won't go into what I was going to say, because we're already on 41 minutes. And,
I know. Christ.
It's like the longest pod ever. Anyway, thanks very much for sticking with us. If you've enjoyed this cheery podcast, then please consider subscribing to our channel and liking us on whatever audio system that you listen on your Wi-Fi. If you listen on your Wi-Fi system, on your stack, then please consider pressing the like button on your stack system. That would be great. press play record on your tape deck. We'll be back next week. But before we do go down, gives a 3% club. Probably still here. It's been a hard watch. I'll tell you what, if anyone's still watching or listening, then yes, you deserve a 3% club word.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even I've switched off for good chunks, of this. Let's go with, Mike, I don't know, mullet. See if you can put mullet in somehow. Yeah.
Mullet. I've seen some.
Actually, it needs to be. You can't just say mullet now. It has to be in there. You have to put that in your comment. You have to weave it in somehow. Chris Junior, we had to do it. Chris Reed, he'll be able to do it. He'll be able to get mullet in there somehow, won't he?
He'll get mullet in. Okay, cool. If you want to see a great mullet, by the way, watch a program called Department Q. There's a young lad on there who has a fantastic, very almost David Bowie circa Ziggy Stardust sort of era mullet. It is
the worst kind of mullet. High and low.
Yeah, it's pretty poor. It's pretty poor. So yeah, check out Department Q. It's good. He doesn't appear till around about episode 5. So if you're looking just for the mullets for the Muppet, and he said he is the Muppet with the mullet, then do that.
Yeah.
But yes, top mullet in the comments, and please continue with your comments. We'll be back next week, hopefully with a much more cheery, positive podcast. Play Up Pompey, but for now, cheers, Dan. Goodbye.
Cheers. Bye.